Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back, back to the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24. It's been quite some time, almost actually over a month, but the A's are back in business. The 12-16 Las Vegas Athletics will start today's episode playing host to the 12-17 Washington Nationals. If you're excited for this series to be back and more baseball content, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below. As we're here at our beautiful Vegas ballpark, and Ken Waldichuk's on the mound for the Athletics today. It has not been a good season for the lefty. He's been one of our more reliable arms in the series, but not so far this season. The former Twin, Brooks Lee, will lead off for the Nationals. And welcome back to the series, says Brooks Lee. A solo home run on the very first at-bat in the game, as this one's launched into left center, 467 feet, an absolute bomb by Brooks Lee. And we're one batter into this episode, not even a minute in yet, and it's 1-0 Washington Nationals. So that'll bring up Jose Ramos up next, and he'll chop this over to third. Diaz playing third base today will throw him out, so that's a lot better of an out. And we'll take a look at this Nationals lineup that has not been good so far this series. Alejandro Kirk is their big bat. We'll see him up next, followed by Luis Garcia, designated hitter. Dylan Cruz in center, Luis Toribio at first. In left field is Greg Rivera, second base Josh Kesevich, and at third base will be Trey Lipscomb. Here is Alejandro Kirk, the 2022 Silver Slugger, steps into the batter's box. And the 1-0 pitch, he hits this one well to deep left center as well, and this one is over the fence, just scrapes by. And the Nationals now lead 2-0. Waldichuk missed, gave a pitch right over the middle, and Kirk will take him deep for his fourth home run of the season. Kirk's in the second year of a 5-year deal he signed to come over from Toronto, and he's paying off for the Nationals. He gives them a 2-0 lead. Luis Garcia up next, playing in his second game of the season. He went 0 for 4 in his first showing, getting this 4 spot today. A lot of trust there. As the 3-2 pitch, he looks at strike 3 on the inside fastball. So Waldichuk now with 2 down in the first will bring up Dylan Cruz, the former number 2 overall pick back in 2023. Has yet to really hit that ceiling with the Nationals. And he'll ground out here to Ryan Noda to end the top of the first. So we'll see who's on the mound for the Nationals. Now inheriting a 2-run lead before even having to throw a pitch. It's the righty Jonathan Bolin, the Rule 5 pickup this past all season from Kansas City, who's been pretty decent for the Nationals. Up first for the A's will be the Vegas native and 2-time Gold Glover Bryson Stott, who signed a big 4-year contract in the offseason. And with the 2-0 pitch, he'll slap this one to left, or it will be caught. And we'll take a look at how the Athletics line up in this one. Clark Elliott in second, having a really good stretch of games. Tyler Sosham in third, Kevin Alcantara in the 4th spot, Ryan Noda at 5th, and 6th will be Jordan Diaz getting the start at third base, followed by Zach Geloff, the DH, Robbie Martin at short, and Elliot Ramos in left. Here is Clark Elliott hitting .329 on the season. He's looked really good the past couple of weeks. With a 1-0 pitch here, he gets a nice slider, tries to hit it well into center, but Cruz will be underneath it, and that'll be the second out of the first. That'll bring up Tyler Soderstrom, the 2-time All-Star, who's really had a hard time finding his footing since that All-Star season in 2026. But here with a 1-0 pitch, he'll hit a changeup into right field for the first base hit of the day for the Athletics. And that'll bring up Kevin Alcantara, the former Cub, acquired in the offseason, a trade that sent Mick Abel back to Chicago. He's been a really good bat here for the A's. And with a full count pitch, he'll ground this over to short, where the play will be made, and that will end the first. Top 2 now, here's the rookie 27-year-old Luis Toribio stepping into the batter's box, and the first baseman will swing and miss on a much better sweeping curve there from Waldichuk. That's the kind of stuff we need to see. 2 down now for Josh Kesevich, the second baseman, hitting .244 on the campaign, as he has a 1-2 pitch here from Waldichuk, and he will also swing and miss, and that is a much better inning from Ken, going 1-2-3. Bottom 2 now, here's Ryan Noda, the 2025 Gold Glover, steps into the batter's box, having himself a not-so-good season at the plate. And he gets a high slider on the hands, and this one will be caught by Cruz in center for out number 1. Jordan Diaz getting the start at third base today over Jacob Wilson will step in up next, and with the 2-2 pitch here, Diaz will ignite this one to left. This ball is hammered and out of here into the second deck. Jordan Diaz puts the Athletics on the board with his first home run of the season, and that ball traveled a whopping 509 feet. I think that's the longest home run we've hit here in this series, probably the longest at this Las Vegas ballpark in his young tenure. Wow, the Nationals now lead only 2-1. Up next will be Zach Geloff hitting .217, the 2024 All-Star. There's been a lot of rumors about his future out here in Vegas as he swings misses through an inside 99 heater for out number 2. That'll bring up Elliot Ramos here after a walk from Robbie Martin. The left fielder will step into the batter's box. Not a good average, but he's had a power surge this year with already 5 homers. And he will also draw walks. So back-to-back free base runners will bring Bryson Stott back up to the dish, the former Philadelphia Philly and Las Vegas native, with a chance to get some more runs here, but he pops up the first pitch he sees into foul territory where this one will be caught. But the A's do add one here in the second. We'll go top 3 now. One down with a runner on first for Jose Ramos, who grounds it over to Stott. Stott makes the tough throw over to second, but Martin will airmail this one into the seats. An E6 and what should have been a double play to end the inning. We'll now have a runner on second base for Kirk, who went deep in his first at-bat. First pitch to Kirk, and he's looking to do it again. Hits this one to the opposite field, and this one's over the fence, and the air immediately comes back to bite the Athletics. A 2-run shot for Kirk, his 5th home run of the season, his 2nd home run of the evening, and the Nationals have just extended the lead again, and now it is a 4-1 lead in favor of Washington. Bottom 3 now with one down for Tyler Soderstrom, and he's going to get one right back. This ball's bombed to center field. It's a Soder pop for Tyler Soderstrom. Shout out Toby Rohr in the comments for pointing that one. A solo shot for Soderstrom as he gets one right back. That one goes 480 off the 4th home run of the season for Tyler. The A's have hit a couple of home runs today, and both of them have been absolute nukes as the ball seems to be flying around Las Vegas today. 4-2 now as we go into the top of the 4th. Trey Lipscomb with 2 on. Hits this one well to left field, but his slice is foul, missing the foul pole by 5 feet. The A's dodge a bullet as the next pitch to Lipscomb. He's going to make sure this one's fair. Rips it to left, no doubt about this one, into the concessions out there. A 3-run blast for the 3rd baseman, Trey Lipscomb, his 1st homer of the season. Ken Walichuk's bad season continues. A 3-run shot here. That's now 7 given up, and we're still in the 4th inning. We'll fast forward a little bit now. Top 6, Walichuk would make it through 5 as Garrett Whitlock will come in. Also acquired in that same deal, we got Kevin Alcantara in from the Cubs, and he starts by striking out Josh Kasevich. Trey Lipscomb up next, 2-2. He'll rip this one up the middle, and his good day continues as it'll be a 1-out single for the Nationals' 3rd baseman. That'll bring up Brooks Lee in the top of the order up first, who hit that solo shot to begin the day. But Lipscomb's trying to take second, and Soderstrom will gun him down. Beautiful throw there by Tyler. So base is clear now. Later in the at-bat, Lee will ground it over to Martin, who makes the charge. And this will be an unconventional 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Whitlock. We'll go bottom 6. Osvaldo Bido will come in for the Nationals. His first MLB season since 2023, where he played with the Pirates. That was 5 years ago. Having a tough start to the campaign, but he'll start with Ryan Noda up first, who will rip this one past the diving glove of Lipscomb into left field. That one's going to roll all the way to the warning track, so it'll be a leadoff double for Ryan Noda. His 2nd hit of the ball game. Much needed performance here. His 5th double. Next up, Jordan Diaz with the bomb earlier. He tries to pull a cutter into 3rd base, but Lipscomb will make the play. And the runner will stay at 2nd. One down now for Zach Geloff, also has a base hit in this one, and he hits this one over to 2nd. Looking for hit number 2, but he's robbed by Kasevich. A beautiful defensive play. Arguably, might have saved a run, too. Runner has to hold at 3rd. Now we need a base hit from Robbie Martin, and he'll go down on a nasty slider from Vito. He'll make a 1-2-3. Nice inning there. Kevin Gonzalez now in for the next frame for the Nationals, as the righty has not had a good season thus far. He begins the 7th inning with Elliot Ramos, the 1-2 pitch, and Ramos will go down on a nasty 91 splitter. Perfect location. Bryson Stott now up next, struck out back in the 4th looking, and in the 7th he'll do the same thing as the fastball low gets him, locks him up. There's a quick 2 down now for Gonzalez. He'll bring up Clark Elliott, and he will hit this over to short, but now Brooks Lee with the beautiful defensive play, and the Nationals' middle infielders flashing the leather. A.J. Puck will come in now in the 8th, acquired last year at the deadline from the Cardinals. Has not been as good this season. We still trust him, and we're already down by 5. So just trying to keep it that much of a deficit. He starts off by striking out Cruz, the former LSU Tiger. Luis Toribio now up next, 0 for 2 on the day. Walked earlier, but also scored a run when he got on base. as he pops this up into foul territory. Ryan Noda is over, and he'll make the play for out number 2. So 2 down now for Greg Rivera. First pitch to him, and he hits this one well to left. This ball's got some carry. To the track is Ramos, and he makes the play. I thought that one might get out of here, but it was close, but no cigar. Bottom 8 now is Will Klein will come out for the Nationals, who has had an abysmal 3 appearances thus far. He's dealing with a 5-run lead, so it should be enough, you would think. He'll start off with Soderstrom with a full count, who draws a walk. So that'll be his 3rd time on the base pass this afternoon. That'll bring up Kevin Alcantara, who is hitless on the ballgame. 2-2 here to the center fielder, and he will swing through a curveball. Nice location there by Klein. So 1 down now for Ryan Noda with a 2-2 pitch, and he'll turn on a fastball. It ripped this one to right. This one is off of the box seats out there. There must be dry air out here in Las Vegas because these balls are flying out of the ballpark. The 2-run shot for Noda. That one goes 478. His 4th home run of the season, and now it's 7-4 in favor of the Nationals, a 3-run lead. That'll do it for Klein. Bobby Stone now comes in for the Nationals, a much better ERA as he has yet to allow a run through 6 innings pitched this season. He'll start off with Jordan Diaz, who has homered already once today. Then he wants number 2. A laser into center. This one's out in a hurry. The 2nd home run of the afternoon for Diaz, and this one also goes a country mile. 450 feet to left center. 2 bombs for Diaz today. They've gone a combined 953 feet. What a performance for Diaz. This is now 7-5. This one's turned into a ball game. Zach Geloff up next, though, will swing through a splitter. That's out number 2. And Robbie Martin trying to keep the afternoon going with a 1-2, and he'll strike out, as that's the hat trick for the former Georgia Bulldog. We'll go into the 9th now, where the lefty closer Tyler Holton is in for the Nationals. He's a perfect 10 for 10 thus far, trying to make it 11 for 11. Elliot Ramos is up first for the Athletics, and he swings through a fastball up on the hands, 93. Good pitch from Holton. Bryson Stott up next, and he'll hit this one over past Lee at short, who doesn't make a diving effort this time. And now the tying run is at the plate, and Stott's at first base. It's Clark Elliott's lefty-lefty matchup here. And with the first pitch, he'll chop a cutter over to second. This could be 2. Over to second, over to first, but Elliott will beat out the throw, and the game will stay alive. 2 down now, tying run still at the plate. It's Tyler Soderstrom. 0-2 pitch to the catcher, and he'll look at strike 3 low, and that'll do it. The Nationals win an exciting one here in Las Vegas by a final score of 7-5 to take Game 1 of this 3-game set. As the Nationals just got off to an early start, Waldichuk did not have a good game. The bullpen pitched well, but it just was not enough. As 7 runs, 10 hits for the Nationals, 5 runs, 9 hits, in 1 error for the Athletics. Bolin gets his 3rd win. Waldichuk's now 0 for 3, and Holton is a perfect 11 for 11 on the season. Your player of the game will go to Alejandro Kirk, 2 for 5, but both of his hits were home runs, as the long ball was the difference maker in this contest. Now, before we get into the next games, I do want to acknowledge that it has been over a month since we've done this series, and I do like to keep somewhat active of what's been going on in real life. I don't mirror the same trades and stuff that go on in real life, but if a player has a motive in real life, I try to put it in the series. And that one person in particular I'm talking about is Aaron Savale. In real life, he was traded because he was not a starter on the team that he was on. And well, the same thing's happened in our universe. He's been with the Braves, but he's been in the bullpen. And Savale wants to be a starter, so he will be traded from Atlanta to the Toronto Blue Jays for Miguel Geraldo, a 3rd baseman from Toronto, who they have a log jam at 3rd base, so they can afford to trade the player, and he will slide right into the Toronto Blue Jays rotation as their number 2 starter. So he gets his wish, gets traded to a team that he can start at. And while in the meantime, Atlanta gets a solid bat for the bench. They do have Austin Riley at 3rd base, so they don't need Geraldo, but they get a nice little compensation for Savale in the trade. Another thing I am paying close attention to is the whole Rafael Devers ordeal. We know what happened with him and his relationship in Boston in real life. To acknowledge that, I did take off first base as his secondary position, considering he said he doesn't want to play first base. But he's been playing good for Boston. He's still on that big contract, and when I check their lineup, he is still their everyday 3rd baseman. So he's not going to be traded from Boston, but if something happens there where he gets moved to DH or something, maybe that's something we can explore in the future. Back to our game as we take the second game as Washington 5-4 in 13 innings as Clark Elliott had the game-winning hit, continuing his good offense, while Bryson Stott also went 3 for 6 in this one with 3 RBIs. For the Tuesday game of the week, the Yankees beat the Diamondbacks 7-4. Both teams 20-10. Both teams pushing for the World Series this year. These are two teams I would definitely watch out for as the season progresses. We are going to make one roster move. We're going to send Colby Thompson down to AAA, not because he has been playing bad at the majors, but because Clark Elliott's been playing so good, he's now become the everyday right fielder. So Thompson isn't getting as many at-bats, and I want him to continue to get opportunities. So he'll get those at AAA Las Vegas. And we're going to call up Logan Davidson back to the majors, who started the year with the Aviators. Game number 3 against the Nationals. We win that one as well, 7-6. Got kind of close to the end. Ayala almost blew the save, but it was Anthony Bender who came and got the final 2 outs. Alejandro Kirk had a great series against us, but Zach Geloff also had a home run for the second straight game. And that'll propel us into the second half of this episode. We will now travel to Comerica Park, sitting at 14-17, to face the 12-20 Detroit Tigers, a team who has been very aggressive in constructing their roster in this series, but it hasn't proven results, which is a little surprising for me. I thought they would be contenders now in the AL Central. They're sitting at 8 games below 500 and still trying to figure it out. They're going to have Tyler McGill on the mound this game, who's looked pretty solid through 6 starts as a Tigers pitcher. As Bryson Stott, who we just saw, will lead off for the Athletics in this one, and he will get us started with a hit up the middle that splits the infielders, and we have a leadoff single. The 2 spot today will be Robbie Martin back up to the top of the order. And the first pitch he sees, he'll slap a curveball into right field. Stott will get on his horse. He'll head to third, and he will be in there safely. And the A's have runners on the corners here to begin the afternoon. For Clark Elliott, getting the shot in the 3 spot today, hitting 345. He hits a changeup nicely into left. It will be caught, but Stott will be sent home. A great throw from Walker, but it's offline, and that'll be the first run of the game for the Athletics, a sac fly from Clark Elliott. Kevin Alcantara up next will get a fastball in the hands, but he'll somehow bloop this one into center field for a nice piece of hitting. So the A's 3 hits now in at the frame. Ryan Noda in the 5 spot up next with an 0-1 count, and he gets plunked right on the back. That's going to hurt a little bit, but it loads the bases for the A's. A prime spot for Zach Geloff, who's been a pretty clutch hitter thus far, and he hits it into right where it will be caught, but the runner will again be sent home. An offline throw, and it's now 2-0 Athletics, getting a pair on a couple of sac flies. That'll bring up Jacob Wilson, our all-star from last year, who we didn't see in that Nationals contest. As he gets a high fastball, he'll pop this over to second base, and that should end the first, but not before the A's push across 2. For their pitcher today in Mackenzie Gore, who signed a big 3-year, $30 million contract in the offseason to come over from the Nationals. He's been good in 6 starts for the A's as our number 2 rotational pitcher. He'll start off with Jonathan Clase, who's 0 for 10 through 2 games this season. He'll now go 0 for 11, striking out on the inside fastball. Wilfredo Antunes on an 8-game hitting streak in right field. Mans the 2 spot today. 1-2 pitch to him, and he will also swing and miss on an inside fastball. A good pitch for Gore. That'll bring up Jordan Walker, also on a 9-game hitting streak, the former St. Louis Cardinal, who has been the best bat in their offense this season. He has a full count, and Gore's not going to give him anything to hit. I don't mind pitching around Walker, putting him on first base for Xavier Isaac, the second-year pro and former number 29 overall pick back in 2022. He gets a 1-2 fastball inside and pops it up to left, and Gore really utilizing that inside four-seamer to get out of the first inning. We'll stay with the Tigers offense, bottom 2. Here's Michael Massey up first, the second baseman, and he'll get the first base hit of the ball game for Detroit, a single up the middle. Now the Tigers will see what they can do with it. Here's Ronnie Simon, the designated hitter, hitting .316 on the campaign. 2-0 pitch to him here, and he'll hit this into right field with some carry. But Clark should be able to track that one down, and he will. That'll be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the former Chicago Cub, Christian Hernandez, playing shortstop with his fiery red eyebrows. Trying to keep the inning alive here with a 3-1 count, and he'll draw a walk. So Gore with his second free base runner of the night. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Edgar Cairo, at catcher today, only hitting .111. And with a 1-0 pitch, he'll pop this one up into center field where it should be caught. And the Tigers are scoreless through 2. Bottom 3 now, here's Clase back in the top of the lineup. He'll strike up again. Inside fastball been working nicely today for Gore. That'll bring up Antunes, who also struck out on that same pitch back in the first. First pitch, though, he gets an inside slider, and he'll split the outfielder's ear. That will extend his hit streak to 9 games, but Antunes wants more than just a hit. He's going to third base. He's got himself a one-out triple, his first triple of the season. The Tigers all of a sudden with a big scoring chance. Jordan Walker up next, full count pitch, hits a fastball well to right. This will stay in the ballpark, but it should be deep enough to tag Antunes. A great throw from Elliott, but it's not in time, and it is indeed 2-1. Top 4 now. Here's Zach Geloff leading off for the A's with the sac fly in his first at bat, and he gets a base hit here. Curveball over the glove of Isaac at first. That'll be a leadoff single here in the 4th inning for the Athletics. Bringing up the 7-hole hitter, Jacob Wilson, and he will go down on the inside splitter. Nice pitch there by McGill. So 1 down now for Tyler Soderstrom, also struck out back in the 2nd. He steps up now with a 1-1 pitch from McGill, and he breaks his bat. He'll chop it to 2nd. This should be a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. We'll go all the way into the 6th inning now. Gore will go 5 one-earned innings of work. Good ball from him. And we'll bring in the lefty A.J. Puck. This is a very lefty-heavy Tigers lineup, including Antunes, who lays down a bunt, and it's a good one. Wilson charges, but he can't get him out at first base. And the Tigers have the leadoff base runner for Jordan Walker. 1-2 to the left fielder, and he pops it up behind home plate for Soderstrom, and the former Cardinal will be the first out of the 6th. Xavier Isaac back to the left. He's up. He hits this one well to left. It's got some carry, but Ramos with a beautiful over-the-shoulder grab. Sorry, it is thundering outside where I am at. I live in South Carolina. It rains every day here in the summer, but what a grab by Ramos. 2 down now as Michael Massey will walk on 4 straight pitches, and Puck's now got 2 on for Brett Beatty, the third baseman, and he'll chop this over to Noda at first, who will record the final out of the 6th. Going into the 7th now, Carmen Mlodzinski steps up for the Tigers as McGill will go 6 innings of 2 earned run ball. First batter he faces will be Jacob Wilson, who goes down on a nasty slurve cutting away. That's out number 1. Tyler Soderstrom now next, average down to 200 on the season, and it'll be even worse as he looks at strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Mlodzinski. And now he's got Elliot Ramos, who made the great defensive play in the last half inning, but he grounds this over to 2nd, and that will end the 7th on a 1-2-3 frame. We'll go now into the bottom of the 7th, where Mason Miller will step up. 2 outs here with a runner on first, just tasked with getting the final out of the inning. And it'll be Jonathan Clase in the top of the lineup. First pitch he throws gets popped up, so Miller's day was easy. He throws 1 pitch and records 1 out. So that'll send us into the 8th, 2-1. So we'll bring up our setup man, Joe Barlow, with a 1.86 ERA. He's been the best bullpen pitcher for us ever since we got him in the Rule 5 draft a few years ago. So we trust him here in the 8th. First batter will be Antunes, who draws a walk on an inside fastball. This ump tonight has been squeezing the strike zone. That was a ball, but there's been plenty of pitches that should have been strikes. Walker then goes down on the slider. His hit streak will probably come to an end, but then Xavier Isaac will draw the walk. Now there's 2 free base runners for the Tigers. Massey with a prime spot, but he goes down swinging. Barlow with a big K there. That'll bring up Brett Beatty, who gets a full count pitch, hits it over to 2nd. Runners were going. Stott deflects it down. It's a great play. He doesn't get the out, but he saves the run. So we'll take that. Base is now loaded for Ronnie Simon. And the Athletics are going to turn it over to Anthony Bender. He has not been good this season, but in his last outing, he got the final 2 outs to get the save in Game 3 against the Nationals. So a big spot here. He's trying to strand the bases. Simon tries to lay down a suicide squeeze, but with 2 outs, he's just going to be recorded out. I don't know what the Tigers were thinking there. If there's 1 out, sure, but there was 2. So you're down by 1 still going into the 9th, and the rookie Bartolo Ayala from the University of Miami in last year's draft pick, our first-round pick, will be tasked with closing down the day. Christian Hernandez up next, and he singles up the middle, and the Tigers already have the tying run on first base. Edgar Kara, the catcher, up next. This is a sacrifice bunt opportunity. The Athletics know it. They actually have the infielders in. It's a bunt to Noda, who goes to 2nd, back to 1st, and it's a double play. Worst case scenario for the Tigers, 3-6-1. And now the game comes down to Jonathan Clase, who's yet to record a hit this season, and that will not change here as Ayala gets him on the low fastball, and the Athletics win Game 1 by a final score of 2-1. The Tigers, in my opinion, kind of blew this game. They had a couple of good opportunities late, but some questionable managerial calls allowed them to lose. And the Athletics only had 4 hits in this one. You saw that hit by Geloff in the 4th inning. That was the last base hit we got. The Tigers shut us down late, but the early 2 was able to propel us to victory. And we take game 1 here at Comerica Park. Mackenzie Gore gets the player of the game. 5 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks. A good performance out of our starting pitcher. In the other Friday games, the Friday night baseball games, the Braves beat the Orioles 16-1. Atlanta's won 2 of the past 4 World Series, but they missed the playoff last year, and they look angry. They want to get back to that game this year. The other game on Friday night, Seattle beats New York in 13, 2-1, in a pretty important contest between 2 middle-of-the-pack teams trying to separate themselves, in the Mariners and the Mets. As far as our game 2, we lose to 8-2 against the Tigers. Jared Jones 6 earned in 4 innings, another wild start from him. While Jacob Wilson went 4 for 4 though, including a home run. Didn't want to overlook that. Your Saturday games on the early slate, the Rockies will lose to the Giants 7-4. Colorado's been the worst team in this series, and it doesn't really look like that's going to change anytime soon. As far as the Saturday night baseball game, it will be the Phillies beating Toronto 8-5. Phillies have disappointed this year. They've won a World Series in this series, but they're only sitting at 500 right now, while Toronto's trying to bounce back after a couple of bad seasons. Game 3 against the Tigers, we lose 4-3, so we dropped the series in Detroit. That's a little depressing. Wilson with another great game, 3 for 4 with another homer. But it wasn't enough to get us the victory, and now we got to pick ourselves up for 3 games in St. Louis before returning home against the 3-time defending AL pennant winners in the Minnesota Twins. And all that will be in the next episode. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed and you're excited the Athletics are back now. And they will be in the regular rotation going forward. If you did enjoy, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.